First, China slammed the Biden administration and the executive order restricting U.S. investments in high-tech sectors in that country. Now it's considering countermeasures. China's Ministry of Commerce is meeting with businesses to assess the order's impact. In Washington, though, there are those who say it didn't go far enough. Joining us, Congressman Mike Gallagher, chairman of the China Select Committee. So it doesn't even happen really till next year, Congressman. China's already grousing. You urged the president to take these measures. Why didn't it go far enough? What did it do, and what would you have liked for the EO to have done?
Sure. Well, first, credit where credit is due. The executive order does take an important step in the right direction. But if we want to stop fueling our own destruction, I don't think that it can be the last step. Right now, Americans, usually unwittingly, are funding the People's Liberation Army, paying for things like aircraft carriers, stealth fighter jets, artillery shells, and facilitating a mass surveillance and oppression of the Chinese people. And I don't think that any honest analysis of the executive order suggests it would stop that. It gives the Treasury Department the lead. It gives Treasury more off-ramps than the New Jersey Turnpike. And if you listen to what Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said, I'm confident she'll take every single one of those off-ramps. And worst of all, the bulk of the national security threat and the vast majority of American investment into China remain untouched by the executive order. We need to restrict public market investments into Chinese firms collaborating with the PLA or complicit in the CCP's human rights abuses, whereas this tackles a narrow subset of private investments. I think the bottom line from my perspective is that the CCP is an adversary, and you don't defeat an adversary or deter an adversary by shoveling billions of dollars into their military and technology program. And we have to ask ourselves if we want the pension fund, the overall retirement health of millions of Americans to be dependent on the success of investing in things like aircraft carriers, artillery shells, and fighter jets. So I hope we tackle this from a congressional perspective. I hope we legislate an enduring solution that endures across different administrations. And also, by the way, provide certainty to the financial business community who may not want to go in as aggressive a direction as I want to go, but need a glide path, need that certainty, and don't want to ping pong back and forth between different presidencies and different executive orders.
So you have... you're going down the list. So you don't think endowments at universities should? You don't think tax-exempt entities should be financing the CCP? You singled out BlackRock, or Congress did, BlackRock and MSCI. Why those two? Boy, there's a target on BlackRock. They can't do anything right.
Well, I mean, there's obviously BlackRock's one of the biggest players in the game. And we're really trying to understand how these companies, how these entities, particularly on the passive side of things, when you're dealing with ETFs and indexes, how they think about this, why they would have certain blacklisted companies in their index, in order to gather information that would inform sensible legislation. So we're still in the beginning stages of this investigation. We'll have to see where it takes us. And we want to get answers from MSCI and BlackRock. We know that BlackRock in particular has advocated for greater U.S. investments into Chinese companies. We've also heard from hearing witnesses under oath that it offered funds that included PLA contractors and other concerning companies. From our perspective, we don't think BlackRock or MSCI should funnel American dollars into certain companies like this. And we need to close the loopholes and at a minimum ensure Americans are not knowingly or unknowingly funding the Chinese Communist Party. So again, that's what this investigation is about. That's what our analysis of the executive order is about. It's about figuring out what is the best legislative approach to putting guardrails on outbound capital flows so we aren't knowingly funding our own destruction or abetting egregious human rights abuses. That's the principle. I'll concede it's very difficult to put into practice, but that's why we're doing a very deliberate investigation with an eye towards informing legislation.
It seems like it's difficult to put into practice because it's be difficult to define what these companies are. I mean, if you take a look at a company like an Alibaba or Tencent, which many U.S. investors probably own, you know, hedge funds, mutual funds, et cetera, the CCP has so-called special management shares in both of these companies. Does that mean that these companies are enriching the Chinese Communist Party? And if so, I mean, would you go as far as saying that people should not invest at all, U.S. investors, in companies like an Alibaba or a Tencent?
Well, what I'm in favor of is a sectoral approach. As I look at this executive order, I don't think it's truly sectoral. It proposes to take a sectoral approach by identifying 3 covered technologies, but it appears likely that Treasury will narrowly scope the regulations to certain companies that operate in subcategories. It also has this provision about with a reference to certain end uses by some of these technologies. And so anything with a civilian end use, as most of these sectors have, semiconductors, AI quantities, could potentially
I guess I was referring, Congressman, to your investigation into BlackRock and MSCI, into funneling American dollars into companies, I mean, that fund the CCP. How do you define those kinds of companies? I mean, as part of this investigation, are you trying to define those companies? Because it seems like a lot of companies fall under that category, and that could affect a lot of American investment, not just through BlackRock and MSCI.
Yeah, via the investigation, we're trying to more clearly define what is the line. Now, admittedly, that's something that reasonable people can disagree upon, but I always have a few simple principles in mind as we consider this question. First, don't fund Chinese companies working for the People's Liberation Army. I think that's most obvious, right? We don't want to be allowing U.S. capital to fund military equipment, some of the things I referenced before. And our cursory investigation has revealed that that's happening right now. Things designed to kill Americans in a future conflict should clearly be above the line, not below the line. Also, companies that are implicated in forced labor and genocide or in building the CCP's techno-totalitarian surveillance state. I think Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill can agree on that. Second, as a principle, consider all capital outflows to China, public and private. And this is where the executive order really falls short, is it focuses on active investments like venture capital, private equity, but it exempts public markets like ETFs, mutual funds, individual stocks. So the private market investments represent about 15% of total U.S. capital investment into China. We need to address the remaining 85%.